Here is the crazy stat that will blow your mind. Robert Lewandowski has scored an incredible 102 goals in just 88 matches under Hansi Flick. That's more than a goal per game, which is insanely efficient. To really understand how special this record is, consider his numbers with other managers. He scored 103 goals in 187 matches under Klopp, 67 in 100 games with Guardiola, and only 59 in 95 matches for Xavi. No one else has unlocked Lewandowski's full potential like Flick has. So, what is it that Hansi Flick did to bring out the best out of Robert Lewandowski? Before Hansi Flick arrived at Barcelona this summer, Robert Lewandowski was struggling. He had joined from Bayern Munich in a drawn-out transfer saga to Barcelona, in which the Germans refused multiple times to let him leave. After a lot of lever-pulling and convincing by the Barca board, the Polish international made the switch to Catalonia in 2022. The transfer prompted the now infamous quote from then Bayern manager Julian Nagelsmann. He said that Barcelona are the only club that has no money but buys every player they want. I do not know how. After that saga was over, Lewandowski started strong in his first season, winning the Pichichi and helping Barca claim the La Liga title in a dominating fashion despite being nearly 35 years old. With more reinforcements and now having adapted to Spanish football, Levy was expected to match or even exceed his performances and put up a strong defense for the La Liga title. But last season, his form dropped drastically. He scored just 26 goals all season, which is not bad at all for any regular striker, but for a striker of his caliber, it was a very mid-season. While the numbers may say 26 goals, his performances on the pitch spoke a different language. He looked fatigued, unmotivated, and out of place on many occasions. He was not scoring goals for fun anymore, but it felt more like a chore. Under Xavi last season, Lewandowski posted his lowest goal tally since the 2014-15 season. Fans had lost faith, calling him too old and washed. The Spanish media was also crucifying him. Rumors had circulated that he'd leave in the summer. He no longer looked active enough to lead Barca's attack, with fans calling for him to be benched or replaced by Vitor Roque, who was signed early as Lewandowski's potential successor because the Barcelona board feared that Lewandowski's levels were dropping massively and Vitor Roque would have to replace him. And also, his high wage also strained Barca's finances, making it seem inevitable that he'd be moved on. But then, Xavi was sacked, and in came a familiar face. German tactician Hansi Flick was announced as the new head coach for Barcelona this summer. Hansi Flick and Lewandowski reunited after 3 years. The last time they were together, they had won 7 trophies, including a historic 6 in one season. Levy, who led Bayern's dominance under Flick, knew the new manager's high-intensity style very well. Both were also coming off of tough periods themselves. Flick from a disappointing stint with Germany where he was sacked, and Lewandowski from his worst season in 9 years. They found each other again at just the right time. In a remontada like no other, Lewandowski this season has already racked up 19 goals in 17 matches, with 14 goals in La Liga alone, making him the top striker across Europe's major leagues. So what did Flick really do to Lewandowski then? Well, Flick didn't just change Lewandowski. He transformed Barcelona's entire approach. As someone who is inspired by the Cruyff philosophy, Flick made Barca's game more direct and vertical. Even though Xavi's style was also influenced by Cruyff, he focused more on possession, which often slowed down play and left Lewandowski isolated up top in a 4-3-3. Flick's 4-2-3-1 formation, however, promotes quicker transitions and more direct attacking play, giving Lewandowski more space to work in and more chances to exploit defensive gaps. Under Xavi, Barcelona also used the high press, but it often lacked coordination, creating openings for opponents, especially last season. The team was covering more ground but struggled to win the ball in advanced positions. Flick's approach, however, emphasizes a more synchronized and aggressive high press aimed at recovering the ball in the opponent's half. So far this season, Barcelona has recovered the ball 574 times, ranking 16th among teams in La Liga for that stat. Last season, under Xavi, they managed only 1,969 recoveries all season and were the second worst team in this regard. This more cohesive press allows Lewandowski to capitalize on defensive errors and receive the ball in dangerous areas. Xavi's system also relied on strict positional roles, which often restricted players' creativity and freedom on the pitch. Lewandowski frequently felt constrained by this structure. Hansi Flick's more fluid framework gives players freedom to move around the field, enabling Lewandowski to adapt his positioning more dynamically during games, resulting in his impressive goal tally. Rather than just running in behind defenders, he now also drops deeper, forcing defenders to choose between following him or marking other threats like Rafinha or Lamine Yamal. One underrated aspect that no one's really noticing is the fact that Flick has also managed Lewandowski's minutes very carefully, while also reducing his defensive workload to focus on maximizing his offensive output. Lewandowski has been substituted 9 times in 17 matches this season, giving him the rest when the game is secured or when Flick senses a tactical advantage. Last season though, he was substituted only 14 times in 44 matches. This resulted in him stinking up the pitch for longer than he needed to be, as Xavi had no real other options on the bench to replace him with. Flick and Lewandowski have an understanding that regular substitutions will keep him fresh and ready for the crucial moments in which Barca needs him the most. And also his age is also very crucial when you think about these substitutions. So with all these adjustments, how has Lewandowski performed so far? Well, it certainly has worked. He's the hottest striker in Europe right now with 19 goals in 17 matches in all competitions. Look at his scouting report data from FB Refs. The more green you see, the better he ranks in his position at that stat. Each green section shows a stat where Lewandowski is outperforming almost everyone in the league, measured per 90 minutes. His goals, expected goals, and shots on target are all in the high 90s. He has an impressive 70.6% success rate for take-ons, ranking him above 98% of all players in the league. That's some good numbers for a classic striker like him. Some standout stats include his progressive passes and switching the play. He's making 2.10 progressive passes per 90, showing his tendency to drop deep and keep the ball moving forward. His 95th percentile ranking in switching the play demonstrates how he consistently drifts wide to shift play from one flank to another when he is needed to do that, showing his adaptability under Flick's system. And the passing stats, what a transformation! Despite now being in a more direct system as compared to Xavi, Lewandowski is now more involved in playmaking, with a wide range of successful passes that he lacked last season. He's averaging 1.79 passes into the penalty box per 90 minutes compared to just 0.4 passes last season. This has turned Barca's front three into a cohesive, double-edged sword. Everyone can attack, pass, and create chances. So maybe a triple-edged sword, I don't know. In the league, Lewandowski has 14 goals from 26 shots on target this season, leading the league in both parameters. The next closest is Mbappe with 24 shots on target, but just 6 goals. Lewandowski has also found his killer instinct in front of the goal, and it's why Barcelona has scored 40 goals in just 13 matches, also the highest in the league. Robert Lewandowski is showing that he remains one of the best strikers in the world, and that last season was maybe just a fluke. Yeah, after a fairly disappointing season that saw him score 19 goals in the league, Lewandowski is now averaging 1 goal per every match and is continuing to display incredible ability and longevity. Overall, his quality as a player has shown that Lewandowski is still up there with the best forwards in the world despite his age, and Hansi Flick and the way he has transformed Lewandowski and Barcelona has a huge part to play in that. Hansi Flick's transformation of Barcelona reminds me a lot about Luis de la Fuente's transformation of Spain to win the Euros recently. I mean, just look at the similarities. Picking up a team from the ground whom everyone had figured how to play against, get rid of the slow, outdated methods, and modify the old philosophy with an injection of modern ideas. If you want to know how and what Luis de la Fuente did to Spain to switch up their game, watch one of my most acclaimed videos that's here on your screen right now, and I will see you over there. So I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.